Welcome to Open Lore. I'm Sierra Laura Illumineer, former educator with a Bachelor's of Science and a focus in psychology. In each episode, we're going to start with round one, where we play it straight. In round two, we're going to ink inside the box, we're going to brainstorm on the board, and we're going to expose sequencing, risk assessment, tempo decisions, and wins with conditions. No commentators, no gatekeeping, no pretending we know everything, just growth. Whether you're brand new, competitive, young, budget limited, or just trying to understand why behind a strong play, this table is open, so let's open the lore. Thank you so much for joining me today, Heather from Stardust Games. Heather, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Heather. I'm from Stardust Games. I do board game reviews and I share my Lorcana journey on Instagram. You can follow me at Stardust Games there. I'm also on YouTube and TikTok.
Heather, what type of deck are you currently playing with?
Currently playing a Amethyst Emerald deck, but I am starting to practice with the dog deck as well because set championship season is coming up and I really want to do well to get that Tinkerbell playmat.
The meta has definitely shifted towards the dogs for sure.
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so give me a brief insight on what habits, backgrounds you feel strategically help you be a competitive player in Disney Lorcana.
Honestly, do compare some mechanics to the game to some board games, but the main one that I think about whenever I'm playing Lorcana is chess.
Okay.
Because you have to react and anticipate what your opponent could do on your turn, but you're still pretty much locked into just being able to do things on your turn. So in that way, I do feel like it's a lot like chess.
Perfect. So we're playing chess today, definitely not checkers, right?
Right. I guess.
Or maybe I will be playing checkers and you play chess.
I think checkers is pretty similar, but there's a lot more strategy in chess than there is in checkers because you're limited to what you can do in checkers while there's an infinite amount of things you can do in chess.
True. Very, very true. Okay, well, I'm going to be playing an Emerald and Steel deck. Half of the cards I've never played with before, half of them are my faves. And so, of course, the very first round, we're just going to play straight. And then the second round, I want you to obviously share your input on what I'm doing wrong, what things I could be doing better, what you're thinking, as my hand will be open to you as well. I want you to say out loud, like, I have these cards in my hand. I know I'm going to be able to destroy your hand with this card. All those different things that you're normally thinking in your head that you don't want your opponent to know about. I want you to say it out loud as best you can. Obviously, in round one, if you see me doing something incorrectly or you feel like you can give me some feedback immediately, go ahead and do that. And yeah, let's get started.
Righty. I am going to start by inking a genie. Exert 1, and I'm going to play a Pegasus.
I'm going to ink a Hudson and pass to you.
Inking a Wildcat. Exert 2. Play Christopher Robin. Quest for 1, and pass to you.
Going to ink a fishing pole. And I am going to exert 2 to play Nala and pass to you.
I'm going to ink a Big Mama. Exert 3. Play a Cheshire Cat. Quest for 3. Go to 4 and pass.
To ink a Fa. Exert 2 for Scrooge McDuck. And I am going to quest for 3 with Nala and pass to you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Nala is a 0-2 with resist.
Correct.
Resist 2 or resist 1?
Resist +1.
A 0-2 with resist +1. All right. So I am going to go ahead and banish Nala, and then I will quest for 3, going to 7. Oh my goodness, I didn't even draw.
I did that the first turn, so go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and exert 3 to play Pull the Lever. and draw 2 cards. And then I will ink for turn with an Ursula Deceiver, and that will be pass.
I'm going to draw so I don't forget to do that again. And I'm going to ink a fa, and I'm going to exert 4 to play 2 Calhouns.
Oof.
And I am going to see, and you see how I messed up?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't,
didn't.
yeah, I didn't do it. So that's like if you see me do something silly like that, like let me know. Okay, and then I'm going to quest with Scrooge for 2 to come to 5, and then I'm gonna pass to you.
Okay. Scrooge is 0, 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ink a Dumbo. I'm going to exert 2, play Ursula Deceiver. So you reveal your hand. Another Calhoun. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, but I should have got rid of some of those during the mulligan because now I have nothing else.
Yeah. And then I'm going to exert 3 and I'm going to play an Emerald Chromacon.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to quest with Pegasus for 1 to go to 8. I'll go ahead and bump up to 10 with Christopher Robin. And then I will pass.
I'm gonna. It says heart on screen. Okay, so Fred. Fred's here. Christopher Robin is 3.
Yes, he's a 1-3.
Okay, so I am just going to quest with Scrooge for 2 then. Normally, I would definitely use my Calhouns to take out Christopher Robin, but I usually take the bait and then I have nothing on my board.
Smart. It's smart.
So I'm trying to be better about impulse control.
All right. I am going to ink my Minnie Mouse, exert 4, and I'm going to play Genie, draw a card. I'm going to exert 2, play Diablo, and I'm going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is going to take me up to 14. Pass.
I'm going to pay 2 to play. Going to quest Scrooge for 2. That brings me up to 9. And I'm going to quest Fred. Brings me up to 10. I'm going to pay that 2 for fishing pole. And explain to me, so would I wait on the turn 2 for that one?
All right. Read the ability to me.
So this item enters play exerted. Banish this item. Return chosen exerted character of yours to your hand. Gain 2 lore. So
Okay.
when I put it down, it would be like this, yes?
Yes. So you would have to wait until your next turn to be
Next
able to
turn.
use.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do, who do you have it? Just Christopher Robin again. Okay. I am going to
Ursula is also
sacrifice.
exerted.
Oh, is
They're both 1-3s.
there?
You're good.
Okay, so I'm going to use this Calhoun, which does 3 damage, to damage Christopher Robin.
Okay.
And then that.
And then I'm going to
How
have
much
you
Christopher
return a
Robin?
Calhoun to your hand.
Okay, the Christopher Robin. How many damage does he do?
1.
1.
So
Okay,
she's good because of the
but I
resist.
put this on there, right?
Nope.
Oh, because the resist. Okay.
Yes.
And then Ursula has 1/3 as well.
Yes.
Okay, so then I'm going to exert Calhoun. Did I give myself lore for that one? No, 2. So I'm going to exert Calhoun for Ursula. And she has 1 damage on her,
Yes. But she doesn't
and so
gain any
she's
damage.
because she's resist. Okay,
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to
and
return the other Calhoun to your hand.
this one.
Other one.
How'd I do it? This one's already in my hand again.
Yes. But because you banished another character, you have to bounce another one back to your hand because of the Emerald Chromacon.
Okay, so just choose one of these that are already exerted.
The one on the left. Yeah.
Okay, and then so that takes me up to 14. So these are banished though, or then they are in my hand.
They're in your hand.
In my hand. Okay. And then I will pass to you.
I'm going to go ahead and use Cheshire Cat.
Okay.
And I am going to banish Calhoun. She's a 3/2 with 1 resist, so the 3 damage gets past the resist, and then she damages me for 3. So what I will do is I will pay 2, and I'm going to boost Cheshire Cat. And what is the strength on, or what is the willpower on Fred?
Fred is a 1/1.
Is a 1/1? Okay, so I'm going to take off 2 damage and transfer it to Fred.
Okay, which banishes him, right?
Yes. Is it banish or banishes in a challenge?
Um, when this character is challenged, you gain 2 lore.
Okay.
Okay.
So it gets past that.
Mhm.
Then he is a 0/2. So my Diablo has Challenger plus 2. So I'll go ahead and banish Scrooge, which will
Okay.
return him to your hand.
Okay.
All right. And then I am
Look at you
going
clearing the board.
I'm going to quest for 3 and go to 17.
There we go.
And I am in a little bit of a debate, but with all the evasives I have on board now, I'm just going to go ahead and play out Dumbo, and that will be pass.
Going to pay 1 to play Chomp, and he is going to, um which one of your characters has damage on it? And
Cheshire.
Cheshire, and how much does he have currently?
How much damage?
Yeah,
1.
1. Okay, so I'm just gonna pay 2 to deal 2 or pay 1 to deal 2 damage to him,
Okay.
and then because it's in my hand and I don't have anything else to do. And I'm going to pay 2 to play Scrooge again. And when you play this character, draw a card and then choose a card to discard. And I'm going to discard Hudson, and then I'm going to pay 1 to play Fishing Pole, and enters exerted, and I'm gonna pass you for the win.
Righty. So I'm just going to ready up. Could do all the fun things, but just draw and quest for 3. And that takes me to 20.
Perfect. Very good job.
Okay, so I know that you really like the passive lore element.
Uh-huh.
Um, I almost want you to try an Amethyst Steel deck.
Okay.
I have played a lot of Amethyst Steel. Amethyst Steel and Amethyst Emerald are probably
Uh-huh.
2 of my favorite color combos. But if I go up against Blurple or anything like that, even Amethyst Steel is like not doing too well.
Mhm. Okay. I like that passive luring.
Yes. Because you got the Cobra that you can discard a card from your hand and gain 2 lore. And then you can make it extra aggro-y with having things like gathering wisdom and knowledge. There's a few other things. And the main thing that I'm thinking too is if you're seeing a lot of emerald decks with dogs and all of that stuff in your area,
Uh-huh.
then putting Maleficent Staff in your deck could be really useful.
Okay.
I'd have to read the card, but it's whenever a card gets bounced back to your hand, I think you gain a lore. Yes, you gain a lore.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like cards where I don't even have to quest and like I'm still moving.
This
Um
card's really fun too.
I used to play with her, but I never could quite get her to work, but it was more of just a I don't think I knew what I was doing type of thing. Okay,
Just
do
the
you want
other
to
night, I
roll?
was playing against my husband, and he had gotten 5 damage on his Hades, and I was at 15. So all I had to do was play her, and I won. It was so nice. He was not happy.
Yeah, I
All right.
bet. But that's what I'm talking about, like, having those type of plays where, like, your opponent is like, "Oh, I got her," and you're like, "Actually, you don't."
Exactly. It's so fun. And the fact that it's an
Gotcha.
evasive 2/2 in general, it's okay to
Uh-huh.
play her out if it just gains you board state. All right, call which one you want, odds or evens.
Let's do odds just to keep it
You got it.
same. Was it
3.
3? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so based on what you're seeing here in my hand, What would you tell me to send back or keep?
So you have 2 Bobbies,
Uh-huh.
a Zootopia, and a Fred. So you have your
Uh-huh.
turn 2 with Fred, and you have your turn 2 with Calhoun. I would probably alter out 1 Bobby, 1 Fred, and Olivia is also a cost 2 as well, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, with what you have going on in your deck, I would what does the card on the end do?
This one, so he's new to me too. He was a recommendation. While you have a character or location in play with a card under them, this character gains ward. Opponents can't choose them except to challenge. And he is a 1/4 with 3 lore.
Okay, the problem with that is you don't have anything in your deck that has boost.
Hmm.
So the ward effect doesn't happen, but I would see the recommendation possibly being because it's a 1/4/3 lore just in general. So it's not bad,
Hmm.
but you're not going to be able to get that effect because you don't have boost characters. Adding the Flynn Rider in there could possibly make that trigger though, and having a character with ward in it is can make or break the end game because that's why I have Big Mamas in here. Because
Hmm.
she's a 2 lore, 3/4 with ward in general. So this
Hmm.
might be an option instead. I know it's not 3 lore, but
Hmm.
it's still ward no matter what, and it
Yeah.
hits for 3.
Right. Well, and see, I looked at her too. So I looked at her. I used to have Flynn, and I used to have the prince, Philip, uh, before he was cool. Um, and so, but this one I added mainly because of people just getting rid of any of your, less than, whatever, like these, like they can just wipe your board and like, oh,
Yep,
you're just a little fellow, get out of here.
yep.
And so I was like, well, let me just add some here that have, but honestly, under them I didn't even read that as boost. I read it as somebody at a location, is how I read it. So I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay. So these two you want me to get rid of?
Yes, and, let's go ahead and get rid of Flintheart as well, just alter him out.
Him. Okay.
Everything else is good, and, you're going to most likely use Bobby as ink. So, yeah, just alter your
So,
hand and let's see
okay.
what you get.
So that's 3. And then while I shuffle, do you want to see are you keeping everything?
That is what I'm trying to decide.
Oh, look at him popping right back up.
Okay. I'm getting rid of my Pegasus. I know it's a 1 drop, but I have the underdog ability with Christopher Robin going second.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep him and play him out on 1. And then the genie is okay, but I have so many other things going on. I have a good flow already. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pop the genie in. I'm going to take out Go-Go because I actually want Go-Go in the late game, not in the early
Okay.
game.
Either one of those make you happy?
I'm not happy about getting another Elsa. I did debate about altering her out, but I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of control with that. It looks
Okay. So
like you
my
drew into plenty inkables, which was what I was worried about. So you look
Mhm.
good with
Yeah, so the
this.
new ones are the Games Afoot, which I've never used this card before. We got Faw and then another Flint Heart, which was the 3. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah. Okay.
So you could go ahead and play out Zootopia on turn 1, or you could try to alter your hand with Bobby at the beginning.
Okay. I'll probably so my plan was Utopia was use it to my advantage on turn on whenever I don't win the dice roll.
Hmm.
Um, and then be able to come in for like what your Pegasus is with like a dump truck. We're not saying dump truck today. Starting to wonder if I took him out. No, I'm teasing. But yeah, okay, cool. So we will do our best to keep our cards visually there, and then we will get started.
Okay. Right, you are on the play.
Okay.
Good luck.
So thank you. I am going to take your advice. I'm going to ink Flint. I'm going to put my ink well right here since my cards are down here. And then I am going to play Bobby, which says that I can draw a card and then choose and discard a card. And I'm going to show you what I drew. fishing pole. So with that knowledge, do you think that I should get rid of any cards that I already have in hand, or should I discard fishing pole?
The fishing pole allows you to gain cards from your discard, correct?
This item enters play exerted. Banish this item. Return chosen exerted character to your hand, and gain 2 lore. So basically, I think how I thought of this card is if I have something damaged that I know is going to go out on the next turn, I could play this card, pull that card back to hand, and gain 2 lore on it.
Okay, the way that I would normally play a card like that, honestly, is having like Curse Merfolk out there
Uh-huh.
or the Olivia.
The Olivia, yeah.
She's a 1/1. She's easy to get rid of, and you can play her back out very easily. So you would lure for the 3, banish the fishing rod, return it to your hand, and if you have enough ink, you can play her back out.
Okay. So
She's
keep
less
this one then
likely.
and maybe get rid of the games afoot.
Yes, I would do
Okay.
that.
That's my inkwell. This needs to go into my banish section. I'm trying to find places for everything. Okay, and then I will pass to you.
Return. I drew a genie.
Does that make you excited?
Am always happy to get a genie. Card draw,
Mm-hmm.
evasive, 2 lore. It definitely won me some games in
Yeah.
Richmond.
It
Um,
definitely has destroyed me often.
I am going to go ahead and ink this genie, though. Exert 1 and play Christopher Robin. Pay 1 less if I go second. And that is pass turn.
Okay, why do you like to play Christopher Robin first? You have something that's a one cost right now, right?
I do not, but
Oh, you
I
don't.
like
Okay.
to play him out because he's a 1/3, so he has a higher defense level on turn
Mm-hmm.
1 than most other cards do, and he
Okay.
lowers for 2. So he's like Daisy and Amethyst
Mm-hmm.
without the Daisy trigger, which honestly, in this meta right now, unless you're playing against Sapphire, you're most likely just going to be feeding people's hand anyway.
Okay. Awesome. All right, I'm going to draw. I pulled my Calhoun, my bestie down here. I'm going to have to ink something though, and so as much as I love playing Calhoun and Fall together, I'm always going to opt to ink him. What would you do?
Okay, so let me hear exactly what Fazu does. Like, let me hear
S-
exactly what it says.
Sure. So he is a 3 cost, 2 damage, 3 health. He quests for 1 himself. But whenever one of your character challenges another character, if it's the second challenge this turn, gain 3 lore. So basically, whenever he's out on play and I have like 2 Calhouns
Mm-hmm.
out and I'm challenging with Calhoun and gaining lore through the challenge, after my second Calhoun challenge, or if he's already out and exerted, if he also challenges, then you also get 2 lore for him there. And if you can't quite get that mechanism working, he at least quests for 1.
Okay, so with that large of a lore gain, he doesn't have to be exerted in order for it to work,
Nope.
correct?
He can be sitting pretty just like this. And if I have like exerted Calhoun already, and
Mm-hmm.
then she's challenged and she can be completely destroyed and moved, and it still counts as a challenge. And then I can challenge with him because he does have 3. Um, I would get 2 lore just from this challenge and 2 from, or I'm sorry, 3. So this combo together gets you 5 lore if you
Right,
can get him going.
right. I almost want to say that you should ink Zootopia and go ahead and play out a Calhoun.
Okay.
And Bobby isn't going to do much for you.
Mhm.
So if I were to exert Christopher Robin, you could hit uh, Christopher Robin with Bobby and then Calhoun and be able to gain the lore that way too.
Okay. So what you're saying is instead of questing with Bobby on next turn, hit him with with Bobby, and then have your Calhoun out ready, and then
Hmm.
go from there. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to, what am I
What's your
doing?
gut telling you though?
Honestly, um, because I'm most unfamiliar with fishing pole, but I'm here to learn. So,
Hmm.
I'm most unfamiliar with this card. What I end up doing is I put cards that I've been told to do into my deck, and then I get nervous and I put them in my inkwell.
Yeah.
Um, until I can figure out kind of what they should have done. Then I'll be like, okay, I should have done that. Just like with Scrooge earlier, I didn't get, the card draw from. And so it takes me messing up a couple times on a card that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's where I should have gone. With Zootopia, you kind of just quest it out and it just sits there.
Right.
Um, and then it makes the opponent take the inconvenience of getting rid of this card on their turn instead
Yeah.
of a character card. So I think I probably would have left Zootopia and gotten rid of these two because usually Faw is kind of just my bonus guy and he's not like my bread and butter. Um, Usually these two and then a dump truck would be the ones that I like to play with the most, and then Fred. And Faw is usually the one where I'll sometimes just let him sit there and not mess with him until I get close enough to the end goal to where, he gains that lore. And then maybe
Mhm.
I just turn him on the next one. So I'm kind of comfortable doing whatever you think is best and then kind of seeing how I should be playing, not how I have been playing.
Right. I'm trying to think through the lines a little bit. So if you do play out Calhoun, I am not going to quest.
Okay.
And that would keep the Fazu from being able to trigger anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
also, Christopher Robin's not strong enough to take out Calhoun. So you would still be pretty safe just questing on your next turn with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that the fishing pole could probably go just because I feel like you would want to see that later in the game.
Okay.
So, say you had already played out Olivia
Mm-hmm.
and you have 4 ink. So, you would have the potential to trigger off the fishing pole, quest with Olivia. Oh, let me reorder that. You would quest with Olivia, trigger off the fishing pole, and then play Olivia back out.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you want to see that a little bit later in the game than first go.
Okay. So I think what I'll do is in this situation, I'm probably going to get rid of
The fishing pole?
the fishing pole, like you said. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because, like you said, I already need this lady down to really be able to utilize it. So, I'm forgetting where my placement is. This is my inkwell, right? Okay, so I'm going to ink fishing pole, and then that leaves this as my hand. And then what I'm probably going to do, is, I'm gonna put Calhoun out there just because I have two of her,
Mm.
um, and use my ink for her. And then I'm going to quest with Bobby, for one. And in my mind, knowing that you have boost mechanics, you're going to destroy me soon enough, so I might as well have one lore.
There you go.
Okay, your turn.
I drew into a chromacon.
And what does that do?
Okay, so whenever you banish one of my characters, I get to choose to return a character to my hand.
Okay,
So that is only triggered on your turn, but I can also choose either my characters or your characters.
okay. So you could technically return something from your hand on your turn.
Right. Oh, well, on your turn.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and so if you have a deck that what is the cost on that one?
It's a 3 unequal.
Okay. So if you have I mean really that seems like a pretty good card at all cuz that's for discard or challenged characters.
It doesn't. It's for for whenever you challenge. Whenever you challenge me, this gets triggered if it's
Okay.
banished.
What are you keeping?
I am going to ink Big Mama because of all your Calhouns. I'm trying to aim toward my evasive characters now. So I'm going to go ahead and play Diablo, and I am going to pass.
Going to draw and I have Hudson. And we did talk a little bit about Hudson before we started, and so I'm going to read what his wordings are. When you play this character, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. If you have three or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. Normally, whenever I choose characters, this type of stuff makes me not even want to add it because there's stipulations to the card.
Right.
What is your thought on him?
I'm not a big fan of early game gargoyle cards in general. Like, I know a lot of people love Lexington
Mhm.
because he's a alert 3/3 and is he 3? I think he's 4/4 and he costs 3. So he comes out really early game, but it's mostly played in the Amethyst Steel combo where you want to draw cards, so you're going to get yourself trapped. You'll use him, and then he's going to be staying locked down unless you play him later in the game. And you want to play him early game to get rid of things like the genie on the other side or something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't love the stipulation cards unless it's a late game card,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Vanilla.
I've heard Lexington multiple times put him in your deck, but I've yet to figure out a way to make him work with my playstyle, but
Mhm.
that's also, like, maybe a wrong playstyle. So, I too believe I would probably ink this card. And then what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to put out Olivia and Zootopia. Do you agree? Because I
Yes,
have
I think
3
that
ink
that's a
now.
good move. It's a lot of lore.
Okay. So we're going to then, and you said you have not quested yet with Christopher Robin, but you do have Diablo out.
Yes.
I'm not going to quest with Calhoun because I like her and I need her. So I'm going to quest with just Bobby and get to 2, and I'm going to pass to you.
Okay. And Bobby is a 1/2, correct? Okay, I got Cheshire. I'm going to ink Elsa. I'm going to go ahead and play Cheshire. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Bobby.
Okay. So I've heard a lot about Cheshire. Tell me about him. What does his card say, and why do you have him in your deck?
Normally, I try to actually play Cheshire whenever I'm up to 5 ink because then I
Uh-huh.
can trigger it automatically. So it's like Bell where you can move the damage, but you can only move the damage whenever you put a card underneath it. But you can do this once every turn. So I
Okay.
already have a damage on Diablo. So what I did was I prepped Diablo to have damage on it to potentially get rid of your Olivia on my next turn with the
Okay.
Cheshire.
I don't like. I don't like. Okay.
That was my turn.
Good. I got another Zootopia. So I'm at 3 ink. I am going to
Did you
I
gain your lore from Zootopia before you drew?
um no, I've not this turn I've not added any lore. Should I have
Okay.
added lore on the last round
You should have added lore, at the beginning of this turn.
of this turn? Okay.
Yeah, where it
So
goes ready, set, and your set is any of your location or character abilities that take effect before you draw.
okay. So Zootopia would have gotten me 1, so that puts me up to 3.
Mhm.
Um I usually probably make a mistake and count all of my lore first, well, after my draw, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then if I'm going to be using characters to damage, then I will damage and then collect that lore. Otherwise, I get confused. Okay, so I'm going to quest with Olivia for 3, and that brings me up to 6. And then currently you have Diablo out.
Mhm.
And what is Diablo's stats?
It is a 1/2 evasive, but it has challenger too, so it's a 3/2 on my turn.
3, 2 on your turn. So I could take out Diablo then.
If you had a character with evasive. Yes.
Oh, yeah, because C evasive. Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
not going to exert my Calhoun right now then. And then because you have trying to decide, are all of your characters currently evasive?
No.
Just Christopher Robin is not?
Christopher Robin is not, and Cheshire Cat is not,
And
but they're
Cheshire
not
Cat is not
yeah, but they're
currently
not
not exerted.
yeah.
Okay. So with 3, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put Fa on the board. Um, because we're not exerting yet for lore. Um, and then on the next round, I'm gonna play these 2. Would you do that, or would you have put out Calhoun and Zootopia?
I don't think that either way is really a bad move, just
Okay.
because his effect can, take effect while he's readied.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I am going to pass to you.
Okay. So I drew a pull the lever.
I can't hear that card without internally using my Yzma voice. Pull that lever, Kronk.
Yes.
You do it way better than me.
I am in debate.
What are you
Okay.
debating?
All right. I was debating of whether or not I wanted to play out Genie, but I do think that the move is to go ahead and ink the pull the lever, which I don't want to do because it gives me card draw.
Mhm.
And even though I can see your hand, I'm still going to play out Ursula uh, in order to have another character on board.
Okay.
And
So if you
then
couldn't see my hand, would you have played Ursula just with what was on the board?
I probably would have still played it the same. It would have been a high debate of whether or not I should have played on turn 2, though.
Okay. What is the debate? Where would you normally want to have played it?
I would normally want to play on turn 2 or turn 3 so that I can at least look at your hand to know what is possibly coming.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, you passing?
No. I am
No.
going to exert 2 to boost the Cheshire,
Okay.
and I'm going to move the damage from Diablo to Olivia.
Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, Olivia. I'm going to flip these. That way it can help me keep my stack a little bit more understandable.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 3 damage onto Zootopia.
3 damage. My
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Okay.
And then that will be pass.
Okay. So since Zootopia is still out and I just learned something new, I'm going to add my lore from Zootopia before it gets taken out. And I am going to draw. And I drew a Chomp, which deals 2 damage to chosen damaged character. And you currently have no damaged character, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're going to put Chomp in my hand for now. And I'm going to use 3 ink to play Calhoun and Zootopia again.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm going to do, you have Diablo exerted, but he is evasive. I am going to what eh, what are your stats on cards that can challenge?
My cards that can challenge is Christopher Robin with a 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
On my turn, Diablo would have a 3-2. Shire's a 3-4. And Ursula is a 1-3.
So I think I'm just going to pass. Would you
Okay.
have exerted these characters just to kind of grab the lore?
Honestly, no. You're already gaining.
Just chilling here.
Because you're at what? Lore count now?
7.
Okay, and I'm at 0.
Oh, cute. Look at me winning for
Yeah,
once.
you're doing good.
Hey, but Richmond, I was I was defeated. And I didn't compete, but I did a lot of side events.
Mm-hmm.
And I was defeated because I lost all of them. One of them I would have had because the girl was like, I think you got me because I was at 17 lore. And she was at like 2. And I was like, girl, don't give up. Girl's girl through and through. And I was like, look, really, I don't have much left in my hand. So you could probably like just, challenge me out of these situations just with what you have. And she did. She was able to keep me from questing for another 4 turns and
wow.
was able to get there. And I was like, I could have won something. Why did I do that to myself?
That was good. Because what kind of side event was it?
It was the what is it called? It's the one that Kim did pretty well in.
It wasn't the Infinity Tournament.
No, it was
Was it the
I'm
one where you
forgetting.
could gain cards and stuff? Like
Yeah, so
promo
you
cards?
get
Okay.
Yeah, you get promo cards, and I think it's whatever she only got 1 card for, and they had to kind of revise it. It was that tournament thing.
Yeah, I remember that whole situation. So you could have potentially got something, but I think that you had to have at least 3 wins in order to get anything extra or something like that.
So because I was doing so poorly, because girls girl through and through,
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a bye on my second turn. And so I sat there for 45 minutes doing nothing, and I got an email after the tournament that they were changing the rules thanks to Kim. And so I did get my Pegasus promo, the non-sparkly one. So they mailed that to me. So being the biggest loser sometimes can pay off.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So I didn't win that one, but I did notice at Richmond I was close in lore. It's just I didn't have a deck that could compete against boost at all. And so, every time I would ask, my opponent, what could I have added to, help? And a lot of them said like, "Hey, like this is a strong aggro, but you need to learn the later part of the game. You
Right.
don't have that, skill set yet." So
You're getting there for sure, though. What is the stat lines on Fazu?
he is a 2/3.
He's a 2/3. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink pull the lever again. I'm going to exert 5. Play Elsa. I'm going to have you exert Calhoun. Okay. So I'm going to take Diablo and we're going to trade Calhoun and Diablo. And then I'm going to use Elsa to banish the Zootopia that already has damage. And then I'm going to pass turn.
Okay, I'm going to gain lore with Zootopia. Brings me to 8 and draw. And we get my friend Fred. I think everyone knows Fred, but just in case, whenever this character is challenged, he gains 2 lore. I'm going to. None of your characters currently have damage, correct?
Correct.
And for the viewers on my side, I can see her cards, but I can't see them well. So I'm having to ask more questions than I normally would. But I'm going to pay 1 to play Fred, and I'm going to leave Chomp in my hand because why not? And you have Elsa exerted. What is her stats?
She is a cost 5, 2/5 rush with evasive.
Okay, so she's evasive, so I can't use my Calhoun on her either. Or my Thaw. And so I think I'm gonna do something stupid right now, but I'm
Did
getting bored over here.
did you
Should I
gain
just
your
quest?
lore
From what?
from Zootopia?
Yes, I'm at 8 right now.
Okay, perfect. Um, Whenever you know that you're in a tough spot, games can literally go on just because nobody wants to back down. And the first person to
Mhm.
back down is going to be the one that's going to lose.
So don't back down. Never give up. That's what I'm
Mm.
hearing.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Hey, I'm not surrendering. Not because you do have a stronger deck than me, right? So I'm
Yes.
not gonna quest out. Okay, I'm gonna pass to you then.
Okay.
Turn those cards, girl. Turn them. No, I meant like quest them.
Okay. I got a little trick now. Ooh, do I want to do that though? I don't think I would do. I gained a Lewis.
I've tried him too. He's not my friend either.
Thing is, he's very easy to get around.
Hmm.
Okay, I am not exerting for him. Instead, I am going to exert for Jeannie and draw a card, which got me a big mama.
That's a good one.
I do love her. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 damage onto Zootopia. And then I am going to pass turn.
Okay. I'm going to gain my lore from Zootopia, which is bringing me to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Going to draw my card and get my little bestie Nala down here.
Oh, man, yeah.
Okay, so I definitely am going to pay 2 to play my Nala. I'm going to turn Fred to gain 1 more lore. Brings me to 10. And I was reading Zootopia, and it does say once during your turn, whenever you move a character here, you may draw a card and then choose to discard a card. I think I would like to do that. I do have Chomp still in my hand, so
Mm-hmm.
I think I might ink Chomp to get me 2 ink, because right now I only have 3, and move Calhoun. So really quickly, how do I know for sure how much it would cost me to move to Zootopia?
Okay, the little symbol on the left of the Zootopia card,
Mhm.
that's your move to location cost. So it would cost you
Okay.
1 ink to move it to that location.
And so if I was to ink Chomp, I would be able to move both Calhoun and Faw
Didn't you have
to.
4 ink at the beginning of the turn?
No, I
Or
have 3
3?
right now. I
You
have
have
3.
3.
Hmm.
Okay,
And
so you've
I used 2 to play Nala. So right now I
yes.
have 1, and then I have Chomp in my hand, which would give me 2. Unfortunately, though, the card says once during your turn, whenever you move a character here, you may draw a card. So I really only need one ink.
But
So
then
should I
you would
keep?
right, I would keep Chonk because
Okay.
you also have to discard a card. It's card
Right.
cycling, so you
Hmm.
need the Chomp in your hand in order to make
To get
it.
rid of.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to keep Chomp in my hand then. I'm going to use one ink to move. I'm going to move Calhoun there, I guess. How do I do it? Like this?
It doesn't really matter how
Okay.
everybody does it a little bit differently.
Okay. But you can still see both of my cards, right? Is that good
Yes.
for you? Okay.
Yes.
So we've got Nala, Fa, and um, Fred, and then
Mhm.
Chomp in hand. And currently only your Elsa is exerted and she is evasive, so I have nothing for her.
Mhm.
So I will pass to you.
Did you not draw a card from moving it to the location?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No,
I
you're
did draw
good.
a card.
Let's see what
No,
you
I
get.
did. I got Bobby. And so we're not doing nothing with Bobby right now, but at least Bobby is inkable.
Okay, but you do have to discard a card too.
Mm-hmm. So which one would you do? Got Chomp or Bobby? Would you get rid of Chomp?
I'm not seeing a lot of card draw, so Bobby's just going to be a character on board.
Mm-hmm.
But a character on board right now is going to do you wonders because right now you're at 9 lore or 10?
10. Mm-hmm.
10. Okay, and right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore on board. So if you play him out 7, so you could play it out to where you can just leave everything standing as much as possible
Mm-hmm.
and then
Oops.
just lure all the way to 20.
Okay.
If I
So
don't get
we
any
will.
to exert one of your characters, then I can't get anything. I can't make anything happen.
Okay. So we will then discard Chomp. And then we will keep Bobby in hand and then pass to you.
Okay. Okay. I gotta go.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
If you don't
Not
have
go go.
anything, and it still puts me in a bit of a tight situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm actually going to ink Lewis. I'm going to exert 4, play Big Mama, exert, and I'm going to see what I can do here. Or you know what? This was Lewis, correct?
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Resetting a little bit. So I have 3. I'm going to ink Big Mama. I'm going to exert 3, play the Chromacon, exert 3, and I'm going to play Lewis. And he comes in exerted. And I'm going to give Reckless to Fazu.
Okay. And reckless means?
You'll have to challenge on your turn.
Okay. So it'll force me to challenge. And if I don't have any evasive character or non-evasive characters to challenge,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just turning him sideways.
Yes.
Okay. But
Well,
since
no, no, no,
Lewis
no, no,
is
no. No.
exerted.
Yeah, he is exerted automatically. And I'm
Uh-huh.
going to change that. I'm actually going to have you have put Reckless on Nala. I'm going to put
On Nala.
Reckless on
Okay.
Nala. Yes.
And that
Um,
stops me from questing with her.
right. It stops me from,
And
it stops you from questing with her, and you have to challenge with her if you're able to.
if you're able to. Okay.
Yes.
So and
So
because of that, that just means that unless you turn Christopher Robin, because Lewis is also evasive, correct?
mhm.
Okay,
No,
so
no, no.
unless you
He's not. He's not.
he's not. Okay, so I
No.
can challenge Nala with Lewis, but what is his stat line on the next turn?
Um, he's a 4-3.
4-3. So it would do nothing to him because Nala has no damage, right?
Right.
Okay, and it would destroy her. This
Right.
beautiful, beautiful girl. Okay, go on.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish off your Zootopia.
Okay,
And I'm on a quest with Genie for 2. So I finally get on the board
let's go.
and I will pass.
Okay. So really quickly, since Nala now has Reckless, she has to challenge immediately. Is there something I should be adding to her to remind both me and my opponent that she has Reckless, or we just try to our best to remember?
There are some dice my husband gave me for Christmas. I haven't used them though, but some
Okay.
players do use these. Let me get out of the little baggie. And it has like all the different
Oh, okay.
things on it. So you could potentially put Reckless on it that way to help remind yourself and your
Okay.
opponent.
Okay. Awesome. So Zootopia is gone, so I don't have to worry about that now. I'm going to draw a card. I get another Faw. And so Nala must challenge because she's reckless and she
Hold
has to
on.
challenge what
There is a way to get around it.
okay.
You have
Using my Faw,
Calhoun.
right?
You can use Fa or Calhoun to challenge instead. But you'll have to get rid of Lewis because as long as he's still standing, then Nala will still have to get rid of him.
So what I was thinking I was going to do, because I already have Nala and Faw out,
Mm-hmm.
my plan was, before I even pulled him, is she's going to challenge. She's not going to do any damage to Lewis and she's going to be discarded. However, that's my first challenge. And if I challenge again with Faw, who is a 2-3 against your Lewis, it does take out Faw, right? Lewis is a what again?
He's a 4-3.
4-3. So it does take out Faw, but his text says if it's the second challenge this turn, gain 3 lore. So I would still gain 3 lore,
Mm-hmm.
even if it discards both cards, correct?
So you gain 3 lore with your second challenge?
Mm-hmm. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, if it's the second challenge this turn, gain 3 lore.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of how. So I'm trying to avoid hitting Fred as much as possible because I know that gains you 2 lore whenever he's
Uh-huh.
challenged and banished.
Uh-huh.
So what I would do, because he's a 1/1, or
Uh-huh.
does he? Yeah, was I would actually hit with him and then hit with Fa. So you'll still have Nala on board and you can keep her ready. And you'll
Okay,
still
so but
gain the 3.
when she's given reckless, do I have a choice or just any card?
Any other card, if you want to keep her on board with, you just can't quest with her.
Okay.
Does that
So
make
read
sense?
read to me what it says so that way I can kind of understand it.
Okay, so this character enters exerted. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains reckless during their turn. But and it says they can't quest and must challenge if able. But if you get
Uh-huh.
rid of Lewis, you cannot challenge Elsa or Jeannie. So she would just stay readied. So if you want to keep your high lore character, Nala, then
Uh-huh.
you could challenge with Fred and then challenge with Fa, or you could challenge with Fred and then Calhoun would banish him. Actually, Calhoun by herself would banish him. But in order
Uh-huh.
to get the Fa trigger, you would want to do Fred and then either Calhoun or Fa. But you'll lose Fred
Uh-huh.
and you'll lose Fa or Calhoun.
Okay, so let me count. Let's say so I think I tell me if I'm wrong. I think I want to quest with Fred to gain 1, challenge with Nala, which would remove her, and then challenge with Fa, which would gain me 3, 4 to get to 14.
It
Or
would.
and then if you take this one out, which you probably won't want to, but if you took it out, that would be 16. Bobby 17, 18.
Okay.
Because some of your
But what also is going to happen is because you're going to banish Lewis,
Mhm.
is I have the Chromacon out so I can choose to bounce a character back to my hand or your hand.
Okay, and in that situation, what do you think my opponent would choose?
I'm going to choose Elsa so that I can make you exert a character.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go with what you're saying. So I'm going to challenge then with Fred. He does 1 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to remove him. And then with Fa, I'm going to challenge Lewis again. And whenever I challenge, he's a 2-3. How much is left on Lewis?
That will take him out.
Take him out. And so he has 2 left.
Fa is a 2/3, so Lewis will take him out because he's a 4/3.
He's gonna take him out. Okay.
Yep.
And he gains 3 lore on a second challenge. So I'm going to go up to 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to discard him,
Okay.
which
And
leaves
I'm going to do my Chromacon trigger. I'm going to
okay.
return Elsa back to my hand.
Okay. Okay, and that leaves me with Nala, and I have not inked or put anything down this turn. I do have 3 ink available. I believe in this situation, I am going to I got Bobby or Fa. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put Fa back out.
Okay.
3, and then keep Bobby in hand. Normally this lineup would be great for me if anyone's like turning, especially at 13 lore. because I've got 2, gain 2, that's 4, gain 3. But people got to turn, you know? Quest,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Your turn.
Hey, that one was definitely a thinky turn for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at 6 ink.
Okay. After we're done, that's something I'm going to talk to you about because, like, right now, I'm still sitting at 3 ink with 1 in hand. You have 6 ink and 3 in hand.
Yep. But you have an aggro style deck, so that's okay.
Hmm.
Sitting at 4 to 5 ink is completely fine. But in order to do exactly what I want to do, I am going to have to add an additional ink. So I'm going to go ahead and take Pegasus. I'm going to add that here. I'm going to exert 5 to play Elsa back out, and I'm going to exert your Calhoun. And then I am going to take my Cheshire Cat, and I'm going to take out your Calhoun. It's a 3/4. And then I'm going to exert 2 to then boost and transfer 2 damage from Cheshire Cat to Nala.
Okay. Which takes her out.
Yep. So it would have either been Fred or Nala in that
Hmm.
situation from the last turn. So either way,
Okay.
they would have both been gone that
Gone.
way. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's always a safer bet to try to keep your higher lore characters if you can. Um, and then with having Fa on board, he's a 2/3. I am going to go ahead and quest for 5, which is going to bring me up to 7. Yes, 7, because I was at
Okay.
2. And that would be pass turn.
Okay. Draw. I get a Zootopia. So I'm going to use 1 ink for Zootopia. I'm going to ink or use 1 more ink for Bobby just to put my entire hand on deck.
Mhm.
Um, and right now I have Fa, which is a 2/3, and you have Christopher Robin currently exerted, right?
Mhm. I do.
And what is his?
He's a 1/3.
He's a 1/3. Since I don't have um my characters to really gain more with challenge with him, and I'm at 13, which probably means on this next turn you're gonna catch up to me. Um, I think I am going to what is Ursula's stat line?
Ursula's stat line is a 1/3. Everything is 1/3, 2/4, 3/4, but with 1 damage, so 3/3. A 1/3, and then the readied Elsa is a 2/5. But my thought process here with you right now is you could either exert your characters, you're a 13.
So that only gets me to 14 on this turn with Fall, because these two were just put down.
Right. I can't gain any more damage, so I'm not going to be able to trigger off Cheshire because Fred is a 1/2.
Mhm.
Um, so you could take the risk and just stay ready for another turn, and hopefully you pull into something like Olivia or Flint Heart.
Mhm.
Flint Heart's a 4 cost though,
Mhm.
so that would kind of be not good.
Yeah.
So hopefully you pull into something like an Olivia. I
Okay.
would need to take out your Zootopia just to be able to go for another turn, but if you were to pull into something like Olivia, then you're going to be up to 19 if you quest out on your next turn.
Okay. So let's do that then. Let's pass. See how it
Yeah.
goes.
Okay, ready my ink. And I pulled into a Minnie Mouse, which I am just going to play her. She's a 3/4 2 lore with it has the boost mechanics to it, but if I play her, I can just trigger it off to move the last damage from Cheshire to Fa, since he's a
Okay.
2/3.
How
So
much
one
damage was
dam
it?
just one.
Just one.
So he's still standing. Um, and I can't move it to a location, so that doesn't help there. I will go ahead and take the location with Cheshire Cat and Ursula,
Okay.
and then I'm going to quest for 1 2, 3, 4, 5, which puts me up to 12. And that is pass.
Alrighty then. Draw. Oh,
Oh,
cool.
hold on. The Minnie Mouse is a new card for me too. I
Okay.
should have drawn a card.
Okay. Oh, look at you, double go-go's.
Yes, double goals.
Okay, so I drew Hudson, and I am just going to use 3 to play, or use 2 to play him because why not? I'm at that
Mm-hmm.
point in the game that I normally get to where I don't really have much to do. I'm going
4,
to
5, 6, 7,
use
8, 9.
this
Yeah, I have
one.
a game on board now. I was really hoping that you would get something.
Yeah. I am going to use Bobby to challenge Christopher Robin. What is he at?
He's 1, 3.
Okay, so I'm going to use Bobby to challenge Christopher Robin for 1 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Bobby
I'm
stays
going.
standing.
I thought you said he was a 1/3. Oh, he's 1. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Sorry. And then I'm going to challenge with Fa
Okay.
to remove Christopher Robin. He has 1 left on there.
He has 2 left, but that would still
2.
take. But he hits for 1. So Fa
So
is
Fa
a 2,
stays.
3.
He's a 2/3, yeah.
Yeah, so he stays standing too. That's
So he
good.
stays, and then I gain 3 lore because he's
Yeah.
the second challenger. So I'm up to 16, and I will pass to you.
Those would still be exerted. Fred and
Oh, yeah,
Fazu
sorry.
would. Mm-hmm. That definitely put me back a turn because I was at 19 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was at 9 and that puts me down to 7. So right now I only have 19 on board.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Never mind. Because of the Go-Go's, I still have game.
still got it.
Yeah, I still got it because of the Go-Go's. And I had to put all of my pull the levers in the inkwell. So I can't even do the fun trick with it. But that's okay. I guess I'm just going to quest out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that puts me at 19. And then I'm going to do play out Go-Go and trigger off the damage on Fazu to gain 2, which puts me at 21. So that's
Perfect.
game.
Yay, we did it.
Yes, that was
Okay,
good. That was good.
okay. So I'm going to show you what my next card was. My next card would have been Nala.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, and so with just these 3, I would have been at 19. So I would have
Yes.
needed 2 more turns to be able to turn out. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I could have bounced something back to your hand in that case, but then you would have been able to trigger off the Hudson too at that point.
If I would have known what to do.
I forget about the Chromacon triggers a little bit sometimes. I still need to like get that down.
Yeah.
But whenever I have it planned, like I did the Elsa, I was like, please kill something. I need it back.
Do something,
Mhm.
girl.
That's why I went with the
Or-
Lewis, though, to make that happen.
Okay, Heather, so thanks so much for joining me on Open War. If you could give me any advice or choose 3 cards to get rid of out of my deck, what 3 would you add?
So we definitely did not like Hudson. We played him there at the end for a body because that's basically all that you had. But I would love to see you add in more card draw like Doc, because you had a lot of card cycling, but not really anything to gain you cards. And it would have been really nice to be able to just flood the board as much as possible. And Doc definitely helps you get there.
Yeah.
I didn't love the fishing pole either. It just felt like that with what you have going on in your deck, paying 2 ink for an item, being able to play out an item to be able to play out a character and then fish it back, which is the whole like idea behind the fishing pole, just doesn't seem like it works as much.
Okay. So some of the cards that we didn't see are we have Scrooge in there. We have Chop.
Hmm.
We have the Games Afoot.
And what does
We
Games Afoot do? I remember reading it,
I
but I felt like it had something to do with locations.
It says move up 2 of your characters to the same location for free. That location gains resist +2 until your next turn.
Okay, well, that one really isn't that bad. It's just a matter of how much you want to get your ink up to in order to make your deck run, and
Mhm.
how much is the ink cost on that one?
2,
Too.
and it's
Okay, so
inkable.
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay.
Um, the one that I definitely would switch out because there's no boost mechanic and there are other cards is the Flint Heart.
Okay.
So you could switch that one out for something like Lawrence or and that's the same for Hudson as well. Hudson Lawrence would be a good replacement. Or even there's this Gigi card too. I think it's Gigi. It's an alien puppy.
Mhm.
And I compared it to Lawrence. And then Big Mama, which is the card that I played, would be a great replacement for Flint Heart.
Any cards that you feel like I love but are just not worth keeping? Like my Olivia, love her. Calhoun, Fa, and of course you didn't see Dump Truck today, but he is in there.
Like the Olivia to an extent. If I would have her in a deck, she would be a 2 of, just because she is so easily removed. But
Okay.
if you get into later game and you've already seen your opponent put out Strength of a Raging Fire, Let It Goes, and all of that spot removal that'll just get rid of characters before they're even exerted, then
Mhm.
you can pop her out, hope that they can't get rid of it, make sure that there's not a Cheshire on board, and you're good. It can
Okay.
gain you 3 lore. I do like Fazoo card combo. You were able to make that work several times. So I would definitely just focus on making sure you can make that happen. Maybe even add in a bodyguard.
Okay.
A bodyguard would ensure that you're able to make that happen or just be able to quest as much as possible.
What bodyguard comes to mind for you? Now, I used to have Vinny in
Yeah.
there for board wipe purposes, but he is, like we talked about earlier, uninkable, and so I already have
Hmm.
quite a few uninkable cards in
Yes.
here. But if I was to get rid of 2 Olivia and put 2 Vinny in, what would be another bodyguard that I could add?
There's several good ones. I like the classic Pluto card that's a 5/5 until it's damaged, and then it's a 1/5. There is also the new, oh my gosh, John Smith. I can't remember how much he costs, is the only problem because he is a newer card.
Okay, so something
But
to look at.
yes, I really like that ability, but right now everything is so fast. It's hard
Mhm.
to get up to those higher cost characters unless you're running Sapphire with ramp.
And to be transparent, I usually don't get past 4 to 5 ink
Okay.
on average.
I'm looking to see what John Smith costs now because I like that card because it is the ultimate bodyguard. Not only do you have to challenge to get past him, you can only use your spot removal on him.
Okay.
It's like
So, like
the
like
opposite
banishing
of
a
Ward.
character?
I'm pulling it up and I'll read it to you. It's
Okay.
pretty cool. Okay, he's a 5 cost, but he's uninkable.
But
Uh,
if I have him in there, I could say, "Okay, I know he's coming." He might be more useful than, say, I'm trying to see in my deck right now, like Cursed Merfolk or something like that, like something I could get rid of with, maybe put Pegasus in that place for my 1 drop. I already have Fred and Bobby there,
mhm.
and a dump truck, so I could probably get rid of some 1 drops to make room for, more of an inkable card.
Yeah, you already have a lot of card cycling, and honestly, Zootopia was a bit of a pain to get rid of a couple of times. So I
Mhm.
like that for card cycling, especially since you can make it happen for one anytime that you want to, especially if you get that card draw in. But John Smith, what it says on his card is opponents must choose this character for actions and abilities. So that even goes for like the Cheshire Cat ability.
Okay.
So he's like the
So it has to
ultimate
go for
bodyguard.
it.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
lures for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not totally useless then. He's kind of
Right.
got the combo going on.
Yeah.
Bodyguard and some lore on there. Okay. I'll do that then. I'll probably sub him out. And then I definitely want to get rid of Hudson because I felt like I just used him as ink.
Yeah.
And then I like the idea of the fishing pole. So I might try to see if I can find some space. Maybe get rid of like 2 of the Scrooge McDucks. I currently have 4 of him in there and maybe just
Mhm.
keep 2 because it does give me some inkable cards to keep the fishing pole in there.
Right.
But yeah, so definitely some things that I can take away from that. Cool. Okay, well, give me a really quick rundown of any type of championships that you have won in the past and what you hope to win in the future.
Probably my top tournament that I won in was the ladies championship at Collectors Cove here locally. We do have some highly competitive teams in our area, and all the ladies from their team came out and played. And then some of my friends who are also very competitive, like we have a friendly competition constantly, but we also
Uh-huh.
tweak out decks together and such. Um, I was able to win out the day, and it was mirror after mirror all day, but that was like my big moment. Like, I took a big breath at the end, and they were like, "Are you going to
Whew.
cry?" And I was like, "No, I'm just like in shock."
Yeah,
It was so
yeah.
good. I have seconded a lot in championships, of course, or set championships, and of course I only started coming in second after they got rid of the second place playmat, so that's
Oh,
great. Yeah, I really wish
yeah.
that they would bring that back.
Yeah.
And I plan on playing in set championships here soon. Um, I need to look at local schedules to figure out where all I'm going to be playing next month. But I also plan on going to Gen Con, which is a CCQ, and I'm
Mhm.
really excited about that.
Well, cool. We will see you around at Gen
All
Con at
right.
least then, and I appreciate you so much joining me.
Thank you for having me.
If you've made it this far, Illumineers, please make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me on Open Lore. Leave a comment below. Which card do you think I should sub out?